now that we have our general kind of layout, if you will, or blocking, what we want to do is replace the blocks that are just gray shapes and replace them with instead the actual content and actual colors and actual typefaces. So to complete that, let's do color first. So what you want to do is go to adobe.color.com. There are a bunch of different, should be it. Oh, maybe it's, sorry, it's color.adobe.com. There we go. Okay. So there's a bunch of different options of things that you can do. If you're really good with color, then feel free to use those. I'm not particularly good with color. So I like to use this tool. I just find it a little bit easier, but it's up to you. Okay. So if you want to manually select your color scheme, you can use over here, you could choose to do analogous, monochromatic, right? So it'll be one color range. There's triad, which is the ugliest one. Complementary, so you can do complementary color schemes. A bunch of different ones, right? So you can try these if you would like. Most of the time, I would say usually sticking around the analogous will typically get you better results. And you can see you can kind of adjust these, and then those will give you your colors. And then I would choose more or less just 3 of these and then use those as your color scheme. There are other options here as well. So another one that's also helpful, so if you really don't feel good even doing that, is you can go to trends. Actually, let's do this first. Let's go back to create. You can extract a theme. So what you can do is you could use a picture. So let's say that there's like, you want to make an artist's website about Monet or Van Gogh or something. You could grab a piece of their artwork, like a famous one, and drop and drag it into here or select it from your computer, and then it will actually create a color scheme based off of that. It's particularly helpful if you're trying to make something and the image is really prominent. So you could select a file. So in my case, I'm just going to go to wireframe example, and I'm just going to use that logo I had from before. And you can see what it's going to do is it's actually going to make me a color scheme by sampling the colors. And you can see there's different options here. So I want to do bright one, colorful, muted, deep, dark, or none, right? So yeah, so you have to kind of make a decision on what you want to use there. So it's sort of up to you. I think bright's probably fine. There's also trends. So if you go to trends, what it'll do is it'll try to give you basically what's trending right now. And you can see they kind of have the pictures associated with them as well. And then you can use these as your guides also. So like this one's for fashion. Here's one for graphic design, UI, architecture. So they'll have different ones for different industries, I guess, different areas. So yeah, so that's some options as well. I'm going to go back to extract theme, and I'm just going to again use this to open, and I'm going to choose the bright, and I'm going to use this more or less as my color guide. Although I'm not like super happy with some of this because it feels a little too muted. I don't know how this is bright. So let's go more like that. Well, it doesn't let me, I don't like that actually. I changed my mind. I'm going to go back to color wheel. All right, so my main color, let's not do custom, let's do analogous. My main color is basically kind of that orange color, right? So I'm just going to try and find that color. Oh, it's this one, that's it. Okay, so we'll try to find the color as much as I can. It's really bright though. We'll go with that. And then, oops, I didn't want that to go so far over. So I'm trying to get basically that kind of color. And so you want to just try to get a range of colors. So you can use this if this makes you feel better, or you can just try to come up with it yourself. That's also fine. So I'm just going to say this is good enough because I don't want to spend forever on it. So here's a color wheel. Yay. So I'm going to generally try to maintain things in this color range. So I'm just going to go ahead and let's just make this, well, never mind. What's this one? Change tint. That's what I wanted. Oh, that's not what I was hoping for. Okay. Keep it that. All right. So we got this general color range. So I'm going to use that kind of as a guide for what we have here. So first thing I want to do is just have a background color. So you could choose white. White's fine. It's clean and it's easy. But I'm just going to do a background color. So I'm just going to unlock the background. I'm going to double click on this and then I can choose the color. Now what I can do is go back here and then choose which one of these I want to be my background color. So I'm going to go ahead and just because this one's kind of muted, I'm going to grab this one. So I'm just going to select the hex code. I'm going to click and drag over it, Control C, go over here, and then where it has the hex code right here, I'm going to Control V. Control V. There it goes. And enter, and voila. All right, so now that will be the background color. Okay. Now from there, I can go through, and I think I'm mostly just going to use that in white, we'll say. So I'm going to make the blocks white color. Okay, so let's go to the nav bar. I'm going to select that shape there, and I just want to make it white, and then I will put my stuff over top of it. Okay, so with that selected, in order to change the color of a block that you already have a color of, what you want to do is have that thing selected, select the rectangle tool, and then if you go up to the fill, and then I'm just going to click on this, when I choose a color, so it'll let me get up to white, there it goes, and hit OK, that will then replace that with that color. Okay, so now that looks a little bit better. Let's Alt and scroll wheelie in here, middle mouse button, scroll wheel back out a little bit. Okay, that looks acceptable. I'm going to put this. Okay, so that looks okay. So I need other elements inside my nav bar, so I need to have my logo in here. I think the logo would make sense to maybe have as this color as well. So I should still be in my thing there. So actually, let me just double check. Can I get the RGB? Let me see. No, I don't want that. What's this one do? Oh, that's just opening up that panel. Okay, so I just have the hex code. I guess I'll just use the hex code. Okay, so, oh, not that one. It was this one. Okay, so I'm going to save that. So what I want to do is bring in my logo, right? So I already have the logo saved from when we did it earlier, and it's right here. Okay, so I have a PNG version of it, and I also have the SVG version of it. Okay, so the SVG is generally preferred. If that's not working, you can grab your PNG. But if I try to bring this in, it's already a color, and it might not match what I already have here. So what I can do, though, instead, is if I open this up inside of Visual Studio Code, I can see the SVG here, and I can look for the color. So if you look, here's the fill, it says, and then it says RGB, yada, yada, yada. So I can actually just change that color to the color that I want instead. So I am going to just remove the RGB and those numbers and instead replace it with the hex code. So let's, oh, that went to that side of it. Okay, Control V. Okay, and then same thing here. I'm going to take this out and then just do Control V or Command V if you're on a PC. And then I'm going to go to the fill here and again replace this, Control V, and then I'll just save it. And now when I go to open this up inside the web browser, it will have that color, the same color as the other object and not the color it was before. So you can replace your colors manually in the SVG because it's actually code. So I'm just going to close out of that, which is neat. So now what we're going to do is I want to put the logo up in the top right here, or top left. I don't know my rights and lefts. And then we can go from there. So what I'm going to do is go to File. Come on. So one of the things that happens because this does run in the web browser is it can be a little glitchy. So we're going to do File, and we want to Open and Place. And then I'm going to navigate to my logo, which is this one right here, and hit Open. And you can see it shows up there. But it's underneath those other elements. So I'm going to, how do I get you up there? Because I think it's on auto select. So I'm just going to use my arrows. There we go. And then let's make this also smaller, like that. And bring it down here. And I'm going to, go like this. Looks like it's still slightly different than that color. I'm not sure what's going on there. Oi, okay. This thing is struggling. This is one of the problems with Photopea, to be honest with you. It doesn't handle like complicated files well. So we're going to go like that. So, and then I'll just hit enter and voila. So now I've got my logo in there and that's inside the nav bar. So the other thing I need to do is put my text in there. So we're going to need two typefaces. Generally speaking, you want to have your heading typeface and you want to have a body typeface. Okay. So from there, we're just going to make some choices about that. Okay, so let's go to the type tool here, and I'm going to put it up here. Make sure we're in there. Okay, let's make a new layer too. and I'm going to click it in here. I'm sure. Okay. All right, good. It's right now it's going to be black. I'm going to leave it as black, and it's this deja vu whatever. So I'm going to do teach me cone. And then what I want to do is actually change the typeface and see what the different ones will do. This one, I'll say that this will be my, oops, I got to grab it first. So there are a number of typefaces available to you. So I'm just going to go with this one just because it's here and it's quick and I don't want to spend a bunch of time on it. All right. So now we've got the teach me cone and I'm just going to put that right there and voila. Okay. So the next thing I need, I'm going to go ahead and put this on because I want these to try and fit inside those columns. So I'm going to go back here and I would like to actually scale this so it fits inside the first column. So I'm going to click on the logo here. Come on. Click on the logo here, and it's got the transform controls. And I'm just going to grab this corner. Oops. And we're just going to make sure it fits in there. That's good. I'm going to grab my... okay, so you can see a couple of extra layers got made that I didn't want. So I'm going to select them both and just delete. Just hit the delete key. Okay. Okay, so now I got this one, and I'm going to make this, because it's good to have everything kind of fit inside. So we're going to go like that, and I'm going to bring it up, and we'll go like that. Okay, so it just fits in those columns. All right. So next what I want to do is my other menu items. So those will be on the right side. So let's go ahead and again grab my the text tool, and I'm going to click in here, and we're going to do courses. Okay, courses. That will be one, and then I'm going to put this. So I could try to make it so this covers 2 for each one. 1, 2, 1, 2. So let's see, 1, 2. 1, 2, and then so this one should be here. So we'll say it goes something like that. I'm just going to try and center it. Looks good. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, it's just because it's easier, I'm just going to hold Alt, click, and drag. That didn't work. We're going to Control C, Control V to make it a little bit easier, and I'm going to pull this one over here. All right. Click off. We'll do it this way. Control C, Control V, and then I'm just going to pull this. Why is that happening? Let's get in closer. I think it thinks I'm grabbing a handle. Okay, so then we're going to do courses. We're going to do about us. And let's just grab that and move this over a little bit. Okay, and then we'll do the last one on this. We'll just duplicate this again. Oh, Control C, Control V. And then this one. Right. I thought there was 2 of them. Oh, it's courses copy. Okay, I did copy courses. Never mind. So I'm going to bring this one over here. And then this one's going to be... So obviously you want to put in whatever you think yours are going to be. So mine will be contact. And voila. So if for some reason they're too long and they're not fitting or something like that, what you're going to want to do is go through and... Oh, okay. Man. So again, it might start to get a little glitchy. So I wanted to... There we go. Make that a lowercase. So Alt and scroll back. Okay. If they don't, just go through and you're just going to want to change the size of all of them. Obviously, you want them all to be the same typeface scale. In fact, actually, they'll feel a little bit large, but I'm just going to go with it for now because I don't want to spend too awful much time. Now, this is meant to be a slider, so I need a picture in there. So I'm going to take the nav bar. I'm going to minimize that. And then let's go ahead and I'm going to lock it by clicking on this. That will lock that one. Now we'll do the slider. In fact, actually, I'm going to hold Shift, click this, so we have all these. Let's lock all of those. Hopefully it locks all of them. There we go. And let's just open up the slider. And the slider I want to put a picture in. So I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to click on this layer first, so that way it kind of is in the group. Then we're just going to do File, and we're going to do Open in Place. And I have a bunch of different pictures. I'm just going to use this stock image I found, and I'm going to hit Place. And then that's going to load it in. Great. And we're going to want to scale this the correct size. Move this up here, like so. And I'm just going to grab this corner until we get to roughly the right size here. Okay, and let's pull it up. And I'm just going to go like that. Now, we'll hit Enter. Now, the thing is, I only want it to show where this is. So what we're going to do is, with this selected, you're going to right-click on it, and you're going to go Create Clipping Mask, or just Clipping Mask. And now it will only show inside of the object that's underneath it. And so voila, we got our slider and it's more or less cropped. And the neat thing is, like, if you move this around, you can see it's only going to show inside of it. It's like a window. If you're used to InDesign, it's the same idea, but you probably already know clipping masks too. Okay, so now that will only show there. That looks great. Okay, so that's our slider. We're going to call that good. Let's go ahead and lock that one. Let's go to our cards. And probably need some more text in here, but I'll come back to that if we need to. So go like this. And now let's just work on, I accidentally have a subfolder. I didn't mean to do that. That guy can go away. Okay, so we'll go to the first card, and I have some more pictures that I'll put in there. So I'm gonna hold Alt and kind of scrolly wheel in. I'm also gonna do this. Let's save what we have. So just do File, Save as PSD. So try to save your stuff as PSDs. Photoshop document files, because it'll have all the layers. You don't want to save just as like a JPEG or PNG, because it won't keep it. So mockup. Okay. All right. So I want to put a picture in here and then some text underneath it. So there's going to be a couple of different items. Let's go ahead and let's make a folder for that card, which I know I just deleted that one, but so I'm going to drag that in there. I'm just going to call this one, rename it. We'll call it card 01. Okay. So I'm going to have this selected, and I'm going to do a file place. So we'll do file, open in place. And then I'm just going to grab, because I didn't really think too much of any of these. Let's grab this one, because it's the first one. Great. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of scale that down. And we'll scale it down again. Come on. All right. Good. Okay. And I want it to generally try to fit it roughly into this box. Okay. And let's, I'm going to hold Alt and scroll in a little so I'm more in that box. I'm going to turn off these other, the other areas here. So just the other stuff on the bottom. So to do that, you just hit the eyeballs here, and that will get rid of them. That way I can tell what I'm doing here a little bit more. So, so what I'm going to do is pull this down so it's more in it. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and do a clipping mask again. So I'm going to have this above the card. We're going to right click and go clipping mask. And now it will only show inside that picture. Okay, so I'm going to try and frame it so that it fits in there. I want this. But I need to have this bottom section available in order to put my text in. So in order to do that, I'm going to have to mask this, which is a little bit of an annoyance, but I'm just going to show you how to do that. So what we're going to do is select the rectangular select tool, and I'm going to click and drag the part I want to keep. So let's say, I'm going to try and make it like halfway. So we'll say here, okay? So I'm on that picture, I make a selection around it, and then I'm going to hit this mask button. Now it's only going to show what's white. This is getting a little more advanced kind of things, but so now the other thing is too, I want this card to be like one of those other colors. So actually, let's just use white. So I'm going to have that card selected. I'm going to go to the rectangle tool. I'm going to click on this, and then let's choose white. And now that will be white. Great. Okay. So now I have that going on. Now I just need to put some text in here. So from here, I would use the lorem ipsum or whatever. So I'm going to write lipsum.com. And I'm just going to go ahead and tell it to generate some. And then I'm just going to copy one of these pieces. Doesn't really matter. So we'll go back here. And I need to put that text in here. So before, when we were writing our text, we were just clicking and then letting it go to the right. This time what I'm going to do, hopefully this works, I'm going to click and drag a box. Okay. Some of the stuff is not the same as it is in Photoshop, so you never really know. Okay, so I'm going to do like that. Then inside of here, I'm going to hit Control V to paste my text that I just copied. Did it do it? I can't tell. It doesn't look like it did. Control A. Oh, no, it did. Okay. It's just not showing up. So I'm going to hit Control A to select all the text that I just grabbed. And I'm just going to grab what I would think would be a good body typeface. So usually a good body typeface would be something that is either serif or sans serif. Let's go with something clean. This one looks okay. So I'm going to do preview, and then I'm going to make the color, make sure that's black. Okay, and then I'm going to take the typeface and make that much smaller. Like, let's say, I don't know, let's do 12 point. Okay, And I'm not sure. Oh, because it's underneath the white. That's why. I'm an idiot. Okay. Actually, put that above all of that. There we go. So make sure it's above the other two items. That's why I couldn't see it before. Okay. And now I have some dummy text. I'm just going to extend it a little bit. Okay. Oh, I'm going to extend it with the type tool. Because that will... Oh, no, that's as far as it goes. Okay, never mind. Okay, so there is one. So it actually might be easier to make the other ones by just duplicating this one as opposed to having to make it each time. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take these other cards. I'm going to select all three of those, and then you can just hit the trash, and that will get rid of them. I'm going to take this card, and then you can hit Control J. That's the duplicate. And then I'm going to change the name of this group to card 02. Okay, and this video is getting long. Okay, and then with that selected, I'm just going to pull this over, and that didn't work. I'm going to make sure I have that selected and turn off auto select so it doesn't try to unselect what you're grabbing. There we go, and then pull this over, and I'm going to snap this to here. Okay, and then I just really need to change the picture, so I'm just going to go expand card 2, and here's my picture right here. So I'm just going to have that selected, and we're just going to do the same thing again. File, open in place, and I'll just select the next one, open. Okay, and again, this picture is going to be too big. So I'm going to scale it down to roughly the right size. I'm going to take this one here of the previous picture, and I'm going to hit trash, get rid of that. And we're just going to go like this. Whoa, okay. And we'll go like that. And let's see. Move it down a little bit. We'll go like that. Okay. So now once again, what I'm going to do is do that clipping mask. I'm going to right click and go clipping mask. So it'll only show inside that square. And then the other thing I need to do is I need to cut up the bottom. So again, I'm going to the select tool, and I'm just going to kind of click and drag up from way above. Doesn't really matter. And I'm just going to try and line this up with the previous one. So I can see the line right here. I'm just going to line it up so it's the same. Okay, like so. And then we're going to click this to mask it. So it'll only show what's inside my selection right there. All right, so that's how you do the cards. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm just going to go ahead and pause this and make the other ones. Or actually, you know what? I'll do it in the video. But if you want to just do it on your own and you can just fast forward it, you can do that. But that way you can watch me do it in case you need more practice. So once again, actually, I'll just take the first one. I'm going to go ahead and hit Command. I'm going to select the group over here. I'm going to hit Command J to duplicate it. I'm going to put it up here so it's just 1, 2, and then I'm going to rename this one. Double click, and we're going to name this one. Come on, buddy, get in there. There we go. We're going to name this one number 3. Okay. I'm going to expand. We can actually lock these ones too, just to make things easier. Okay. Then we'll expand this one, and I want to move it over first just so I can see where it is. Again, make sure you have auto select off so it doesn't just try to select one of the components. It'll select the whole group. Bring it over. I'm going to take the picture here, and then I'm going to trash it, and we're going to add in a new picture. So file, open in place, and we'll grab this one. And once again, I'm just going to scale it. Just grab this corner, put it up here, scale it again. So it's roughly the width of the object underneath, like that, okay? And then move it up so it's roughly where we want it. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go and do clipping mask so it only shows, oh, so if you look, you see the Lorem Ipsum. I got to put that above because I need it to clip. All right, we'll do it this, oh, that worked, okay. Good, and then the next thing I want to do is I need to create the regular mask. So I'm going to use my selection, click and drag. Oh, see, I accidentally grabbed the thing. We're going to click and drag. I meant the marquee select here, or rectangle. So I'm going to match it up with the other one as best I can, like that. And then we'll hit mask, which is this button here. Boom. Okay. Now we'll do one more. I'm going to lock this guy too. I'm going to take this one. I'll hit Command J. I'm going to drag this guy up to the top. Rename this one. Come on. There we go. And we're going to rename it Card 4. Okay, so this will be my 4th card. And go to the Select Move tool. Bring this over. Get it roughly in position. That's a little bit off. Come on, hand, turn. There we go. Gosh. There, not close enough. Okay. I'm going to expand it open. Let's go ahead and just delete that picture so we don't have to deal with that. Again, file, open in place. Notice that these are all AI art ones. I thought they were just fantastic because they're so ridiculously stupid. But this is what AI art gives you. Although my prompts were also very dumb, so it's partly my fault. Okay. Bring this up here. And like that. That looks fine. I'm going to go ahead and make this sure this is underneath the text. Now with that selected, we're going to go and create clipping mask so it only shows inside the block. I'm going to go to the rectangular marquee select tool, and I'm going to try and only select the area above, and then we'll hit mask, and voila. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead and save this. File, save. Okay. Now what we can do is let's look what we got. Let's turn this off, and let's also turn this off for a second, and we can kind of see what we have, right? So that's coming along, looks okay. So now we just need to do basically the next sections here. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize this, and let's go ahead and lock that, and let's just lock cards in general. So now we've got the cards, the slider, and the nav bar all done. We just need to do the articles. So let's open up article, or turn the articles on, the visibility. And let's go ahead and do these. So I'm going to unlock both of these, and I'm going to select this one first, and let's just go ahead and, again, I want to go to the rectangle tool, and I want to bring it up, and let's just make it white. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Actually, you know what? Let's just do the one because we can just copy and paste it for the other side. So we'll take this one. Is that locked? Oh, because the article is locked. I'm going to unlock articles. So we're going to go to this one, and what I'm going to do is just kind of what we've already done. So I'm going to do file, let's do open in place, and I'm going to grab, do I not have any more pictures? Oh, I got this one. We'll just grab this one, open. Okay, and I'm just going to grab the select tool here, and I'm going to shrink this. I didn't realize I had a white border around it. And we'll go like this. And let's just get it kind of positioned. I'm not going to bother doing the clipping mask and stuff because I feel like I can kind of just make this work with what it is. So we'll have this kind of fit like that. And what we'll do is we'll put our stuff inside there. Okay, so let's do view, and I'm going to put the extras back on so I can see where I need to scale this to. Okay, like that. Boom. Okay, so now we got the picture in there. That looks good. I need text now. So once again, I'm just going to grab a different piece of text. I'm going to grab this next column, go back here, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to just do a block again. So I'm going to go up here, click and drag with the text tool. And then it should have all the settings of the previous one. And we'll just do Control V, and voila. Okay, looks great. So there is that. So it should have a title and stuff, but I don't really want to get into too much nuance because I feel like that would just be a lot. So let's go ahead, and it might be good if there's like a caption here. So I'm going to take this one, and I'm just going to I'm going to click on it, hit Control J to duplicate it. Then I'm going to take this one, pull it over, try that again. Let's move in a little bit. And I just made a mouse button click. I'm going to bring this over here. And for whatever reason, I did this one overlapping again too. So good job on me. I don't know why it's giving. There we go. So, so in order to change the text box size but not the scale, we want to have the text tool on. Click on the text, and then when I grab this box, that will now be the text box and not the other elements. Good. Okay. And let's pull this up once it lets me, because I don't want, there we go. Okay, good. So now we've got that looking okay. I'm going to grab, oh no, see that one's too, I'm going to go to this guy and just pull this. Oh no, wait, that's right. These are just the wrong size. Never mind, this one's good. Okay. So there is basically one article, we'll say. So I'm gonna click on this one, I'm gonna hold shift, click on this one to grab all of those. I'm gonna hit the little folder, and we'll just call this article 1, article 01. I'm gonna click on this one and just trash it, and we'll just duplicate this one. So with the folder selected, I'm going to hit Control J, which will duplicate the layer. And we'll just double click on the text. And we're going to name it number 2. Just give it a moment. It will do it. Hopefully. Maybe not. Okay. We'll just go like this, delete all those. 2. And I'm going to take this one, I'm going to lock it. Click on this, click the lock, grab this one. I'm going to Alt and scroll wheel back, middle mouse button. I got the select tool, and we're just going to take this and put this on the other side. I'm not going to bother changing it, but you could change the imagery if you'd like to as well. Good. Okay. And then the last section was just that footer. So we can now lock this one, and we will lock the articles in general. I'm going to open up the footer, and we're going to do the same thing we did before. So I'm going to select the footer, go to the text box, go to fill, make it, oops, meant white. There we go. And then I just need to put text in there. So let's go to the lorem ipsum and just grab the next section. We'll grab that and Control C or Command C if you're on a Mac. And let's do another text box. Now, if you look at most footers, they're usually going to have, and let's hit Control V to paste. Let's take this text box down a little bit. There we go. And let's pull this in a little bit so there's a little bit of padding. Like that. Okay. That's too much. It's a little bit of delay. Okay. Like that. Okay. That looks like a thing. Okay. So let's Alt and scroll wheel back. So normally what I'd want is like columns of like information. You could put like your social media stuff. So feel free to go beyond what I did here. I just want you to get a general idea of how to lay out sort of your stuff. So I know it's just kind of a longer video. I don't usually like to make them this long, but you know, for the purposes of being able to display everything. So this is kind of what the website will look like. I kind of mismatched some of these boxes a little bit, but it should give us a rough idea. So once you're done with that and you want to submit it, turn off the 12 grid thing. Also go to view and just turn this off, and then you want to save it. So just to save it, just do file, and then you want to save as PSD. I want the PSD of it so I can see all of your layers, and then just make it your last name. I'm just going to call it, so just make it your last name underscore wireframe. Okay. Like that, and just make a PSD, and then basically you're just going to submit this, just this PSD document. It should show up as in your downloads folder. Well, I'm not seeing it here. Well, maybe it just automatically saved it. So anyway, you're just going to save it, and then you're going to give me the, where is it? Right here. You're going to give me the PSD file, and then I'll have that, and then it'll be good to go. All right. So good luck. I know this is considerably different than we've done before, but I do think it's valuable both for process purposes, but also because you guys, if you do want to be a web designer, or some of you guys, I know a lot of you guys are programming students, it is useful to know how to interact with graphics in some regard in case you need them for UI or whatever.